Love Bites, most specifically Miyako. Yeah, we are here to check out her piano cover of Judas Priest's Painkiller. And, well, I am really excited about this. And there's a couple of reasons why I'm really excited about this. Now, you guys might know I've been covering Love Bites for a while. I first covered them back in 2019. It's one of those bands who, for me, they have stood out. And a lot of that, I have to be honest, has come down to Miyako. Now, there is no disrespect. I love Haruna's drumming. I think she's come on so far. I think Asami is an incredibly powerful lead singer. Obviously, Midori is giving as good as she gets on those guitars. And Fami, well, I'm a bit of a Fami based independently as well. But Miyako, for me, is a big part of what sets Love Bites apart. And I remember that as long as I had been sort of listening to them off and on, there was that moment, and I think it was with Glory to the World. And I keep on coming back to this moment because it was very much something that struck me, where I was listening to it, and I'm used to thinking of Love Bites as a guitar band. And we've got so many metal guitar bands out there, you know, love it or hate it, there's a lot of them. And it was in that guitar solo, solos often being a thing that I think are overplayed, I was just listening to the guitar solo in Glory to the World, and I was like, this is beautiful. But as someone who's more into songwriting than musicianship even, I was listening to it, I was like, this does not sound like it was written on a guitar. This sounds like a piece of, like, it sounds like something that Bach would write for an organ or for a piano. Like a church organ or a piano. It's like, this does not sound like a guitar line. And the more I looked into it, the more I found out about the fact that Miyako is an incredible classical musician, songwriter, and this has probably led into one of the reasons why when you listen to a Love Bite song, as much as it sounds like metal, as much as it has those metal qualities, it does sound like something truly quite different and impressive as well. So this is where this makes this really interesting, because here on piano, apparently she's covering Painkiller by Judas Priest. Now, what do I know about Judas Priest? Judas Priest fall pretty much into an area of music I would describe as not something I would listen to much. I don't know. I remember hearing, I think it was actually Painkiller they did. Is it? I'm going to get so much trouble if I'm getting this wrong. Is it Rob Halford's the singer from Judas Priest? Because it was him on stage with Baby Metal, and I think this was one of the songs they played. And I just remember like his voice. I was like, nails on a chalkboard, and it didn't work for me. And I'm being honest. I'm always honest on this channel. So I'm kind of approaching this more looking to be impressed by what Miyako does with this, because obviously this is a popular song. Obviously it's a song that she loves, or she wouldn't be covering it. I mean, she's not like she's kicking out piano covers every 5 seconds. You know, she's obviously decided to pick on this. Now, as a result, before we do that, because I'm not super familiar with the original, like I know many of you probably are, I'm going to have a quick listen to some of the original. Just get my head around it, maybe see if I'm a little bit biased against it, give it a little bit of a play, get my ears around it a bit, see what I think, and just get a vibe for it so that I can better understand her version. Now, it is 6 minutes long. I am not going to listen to all 6 minutes of it. Maybe give it a minute or so, see how it goes. Let's go. If she does that on the piano, I'm going to be impressed. Okay. Loving the energy. That's a nice, cool, old school riff. I gotta be honest, I'm liking that so far. Yeah, that's the bit where it loses me a bit. Okay. Okay, that's 1 minute and I get the vibe. I gotta be honest, I can't make much more of his voice. I'm sorry. I know there's probably a lot of old school metalheads like watching this who are just like, oh man, you're a fake rock fan of it. I can't with the voice, but I respect it. I understand why people love it. And okay, I get the vibe for it. Okay, so Miyako's version on piano, it's a little bit longer. It's like her version's about a minute longer. It's a 7-minute version. Let's see what Miyako's got for us. I'm going to enjoy this. Let's go. Do the drum bit. like how she's punctuating each bar with a nice low end bass note there. That was nice. The build up. It means that when the rocking bit comes in, it comes in much more convincing. I like how... So move the two hands closer together there. So remove a little bit of that low end now. Makes it sound much more uncertain. Yeah, the feeling is so... So much of when you've got a piano and you've got like the whole wealth of notes and all those octaves, it's about deciding when to add the depth, when to move up into the middle. Something as simple as taking away the left hand and you suddenly just got like a little tense pause in there. I really love to sort of consider how much of this is like notation that she's added and coloured around the original. Because again, that's another big part of doing a piano arrangement. Adding so many notes, adding so many of those beautiful little scales. I love the way she just hammers the chords in that little bit. Very dramatic. Like the low end becomes super active, but the high end she's hammering away. Loving the artistic direction, by the way. Wow, I can't believe we're already 5.5 minutes through. This is probably done like a music video and everything. This has got like proper cutaways and direction and everything. You can see how she's found like the inherent conflict between that note and then when it steps and then back, and she's really sort of turned that into this really dramatic. And sort of progressing fluently here. Yeah, the arrangement here. Oh! Bizarre unresolved final chord? Oh, there we go. That's lovely. That's freaking lovely. Okay, there is a lot to unpack on this one because, you know, when it comes to piano covers, I mean, first of all, you need a damn talented musician, and boy, oh boy, did we just get one there. But there's a lot of things to consider, and I will say, you know, for the fact that, as mentioned, like, Judas Priest is really not my kind of thing, but I respect that there was, you know, the core of this piece that we just heard is their song. So it just says that they wrote something with a lot of interesting like ideas and progression in it, but a lot of it is how you present it, how you put things across. This is why when people say to you, oh, there's only 12 notes, there's only so many songs you can do, it's like, no, there's so many different things you can do with those combination of 12 notes. Some tempo, instrument, tone, there's so many things you can convey. When I listen to this particular piece and I listen to the arrangement, which of course is a very important part. How do you take bass guitar and vocals and turn them into a piano piece? Well, I mean, as mentioned before, you know, you have got all the notes in front of you. A piano, unlike any other instrument, it's just one where you literally have every note from the bassiest of the bassest note to the highest note that are conceivable, and you can just sit there and press whatever you want, and you can use 10 fingers at any given time. You know, it is something where you'd think, oh, it's very easy. Why don't you just play what was played in the original? But to make something sound fluid on an instrument, you need to be doing things like adding these these sort of runs of notes, and you have to be putting the little notes in between, adding these little details that make everything sound more fluid. And also, what octave do you pick? You know, I mean, you can't just sit there, because, you know, bass guitar a lot of the time is playing one note at a time. But if you sit there with your piano just like hammering one note on the left hand side and then change note, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, you do that, it's going to sound very juvenile. It's going to sound weirdly bland on an instrument that can be doing so much. So you have to think of things like what she was doing there, where you're playing an octave, where you've got your finger and your thumb playing the same note, but you're one an octave down, and you can sort of move between, and then you can add some notes in between that harmonize well. And I mean, that's how you build up chords. But, you know, doing that in the low end of the piano, this is all part of that interesting exercise of interpreting what the original song was and adding little bits in a way that respectfully keeps the feeling of the song alive, but then progresses it. And as I mentioned, if you're doing that on the low end, if you're sort of like rumbling along on several notes, that can in a way make up for the rhythmic aspect that you lose by not having a drum kit in your version. So you listen what she's doing there. You see how her left hand's not doing anything particularly complicated? You can see there as well. You see how she's sort of like moving between the octave. it's very quiet, but just that sort of constant sense of movement, it adds the rhythm. And this is all part of what doing a piano interpretation of a song is about. And that, I mean, that's the simplest aspect. Then you look at all the things she's doing up on the right-hand side, with her right hand. There's the bits where she moves her hands closer together, because again, that means you still have a sort of a thick sound. You're still playing a lot of notes at the same time if you use all your fingers, but you've removed the bass. The sort of the lower end of the songs come up, and it's takes away a little bit of that energy, and you can do all these things to add really interesting progression to your arrangement. And I feel that this was beautifully done, so much so that we got through pretty much 7 minutes and it did not feel slow. It did not feel tiresome. It didn't feel like it was going round and round. It felt genuinely entertaining. And that for me just goes back to the point that she's an incredibly talented musician, but she's also got this flair for songwriting. And as I've said before, songwriting for me, I value songwriting even more than musicianship. A really great musician, you can get them. Session musicians, they exist. Great musicians are truly fantastic, but there's plenty of them out there. A really unique songwriter, or someone who really can interpret and understand music, that's rarer. So for me, her ability to play this, beautiful. Her ability to do this reworking, even more beautiful still. I found this genuinely enjoyable. Credit to Judas Priest for writing the song in the first place. But yeah, for me, Miyako took something that I gotta be honest, I would not be a big fan of, and made it quite entertaining. I really enjoyed her performance of that. Great stuff. As always, though, get in the comments. Tell me what you think. Are we going to get a song on future Love Bites albums where Miyako just doesn't play guitar at all? She just sits down and plays piano. Have a little bit of that as well. Who knows? Anyway, as always, get in the comments. Tell me what you think. And until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for my next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.